Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/relationships, where OP caught his wife in his best friend's bed. Ouch. Let's begin. How do you deal with the grief? A short update and request for help. Posted by Reddit user Throwaway245.
My wife and I have been through hell and back in the 10 years we were together before marriage, and that was what made me choose her as a partner and propose in 2020. We had the best year of our lives in 2022. Amazing wedding, reconnecting honeymoon. I'd really put work into our relationship and it was showing. Plus promotions and work success as we geared up for kids. Unsuccessful, but we're actively trying and house buying planning. We were flying pretty high by the end of 2022, but apparently for different reasons. We became super close friends in 2019 with a couple that we'd been sort of peripheral friends with for several years before that. The dude was from my wife's work and we were extremely close with them and their kids. Once his wife became pregnant with a surprise kid over COVID, my wife and him became really close. Texting all the time, more touchy-feely than I liked, though our community is very touch-positive, so this actually bothered me the least. And hanging out on their own. Her being overly concerned with his well-being when we were on trips together, etc. To my knowledge, my wife has never had an affair. And we'd been explicit in our monogamy over our 13 years together. Always trusted her, and we were doing so well. I walked in on them about to fuck at a party after everyone else had gone to sleep. Everyone was sober at this point in the night and she'd insisted we stay over. She left our spare room bed and planned to meet him downstairs as we'd stayed over at their house with his infant and wife upstairs. I left, kicked her out immediately, and forced a 72-hour hold on communication because I was worried I'd do something terrible. Affair partner told other betrayed spouse I was going to tell her, but he beat me to it and she did the same to him. Later that week, found out from other betrayed spouse that she'd subsequently learned this has been going on for 1.5 years, long before we got married. Multiple instances of apparently no sex, but I think it's trickle truth, hooking up that made it clear this was way more than just friendship that made a mistake. He's one of my closest friends on top of it all, and apparently justified to his wife that since I had told him I was happy my wife had a close friendship that was implied consent for an affair. Insane. I'm beyond devastated. It's been a couple weeks now and I'm all the things you guys have felt. I kicked her out. Weeks of drinking, crying, smashing our shit, and lots of therapy. Very thankful I've curated a truly amazing community of friends for support as well. For what it's worth, she seems genuine remorseful and took full responsibility for the damage and harm this has caused, didn't gaslight me, and has been honest with our friends and hates herself for what she's done. But the fact this went on for so long, it's not like she admitted it. I had to be traumatized by catching them. Makes me feel like it's crocodile tears. After endless soul searching and feeling like I need to make a decision, I'm going to tell her I want a separation and that she needs to move out for the foreseeable future. I don't see a way we get through this, but I know that she needs to face her own demons, and it's been hard to admit this has nothing to do with me. Or even us. She has work to do on herself, and I can't be here for it. Maybe one day something will rise from the ashes, but our relationship is destroyed. I don't see her as a partner anymore. 3 weeks ago we were trying to have kids. Insanity. I don't know what I'm asking. Still in shock and can't really think about reconciliation. I'm so exhausted right now, I just feel like I need to protect what sanity I have left and focus on finding some moments of joy for myself.
OP, they had maintained an emotional and sexual affair for a really long time, at least 1.5 years, while deceiving you, the other betrayed spouse, the whole family, and your entire friend group. She also did a great acting job to make you feel like you had the best year of your life, a great marriage, and a reconnecting honeymoon. At this point, OP, how much ever she act to look like remorseful, I would still urge you to look at it with a critical eye. She has proven to you that she can lie to you successfully with you not being the wiser. Considering the enormity of her betrayal, I really don't see how you can recover this marriage at this point, because I guarantee you, OP, you were the side dude. You were her plan B because her main man was already taken. And now for OP's update.
TLDR prior post, walked in on my wife, less than 1 year married, serious committed relationship for 12, cheating on me with one of our closest friends 1 month ago. Turns out they'd been off and on sleeping together for 2 years, and a deep emotional affair while other betrayed spouse was pregnant / has an infant at home. I did things a bit differently than you all. I kicked her out right away. I arranged a meeting in neutral space after a 4-day cool down period. Raged at her, didn't really give her a chance to talk. Then went no contact for another 3 weeks. After getting more gory details about their affair from the other betrayed spouse that they'd slept together for years prior, I scheduled a meeting with her and read her a letter essentially formalizing separation and logistics of it. Said I hope she does the work to fix herself because it's too late for our marriage. I didn't pull punches but felt like I was spiraling without letting this out on her, and despite general advice to be totally no contact, I think we are both better for it. She's done pretty much everything right so far, I'll give her that much. Cut off the affair. Not drinking, doing individual counseling. She's an absolute wreck, apologizing and disgusted with herself. I don't think she understands what she's really done to me, but she is very ashamed and cannot admit our 14-year relationship is over. Fully prioritizing my needs, taking responsibility, and owning up to it. Not that I can see getting through this with her or taking her back. Betrayal this deep is beyond the pale. Don't get me wrong. I don't trust her, though I do hope someday we can be amicable, but I'm just trying to set the stage. Because that's not really what this thread is about. It's about me, not her. We had everything. Money, great jobs, our relationship was amazing, active sex life, great travel partners, trying to have kids the last couple months, which she desperately wanted, looking to buy our first house, great community we nurtured. We certainly had conflict and struggles, but years of work. Relationships are work. Anyone who tells you different is a dipshit. Had made our communication pretty solid. That's the real killer part here. She even admits it had nothing to do with us and independently agrees we were doing better than ever. Just that she was personally depressed and sought out validation in the hands of someone who gave her a ton of attention and got it in the most destructive and toxic way possible to me and us. I am still angry, don't get me wrong, but more so just so unbelievably sad and in 100 times the worst pain of my life. I mean that honestly. It's the grief and despair that's killing me, the loss of what we had. I think we've charted a pretty drama-free course for divorce and separation despite the turmoil, but that's not even the point other than reducing my stress. It's the loss of a partnership. It feels like she's dead. I see her and it's just a ghost. It doesn't even matter that she's apologizing or what she's saying. There's been some hiccups and I've slipped up. Handling of shared assets, friends getting roped into drama and rightfully getting pissed, but she's respected my wishes so far and took those incidents on the chin. But I just can't get past the senseless loss of my partner, my team, that I've clearly taken for granted so long, and that it was actually gone ages ago and I didn't even know it. It's like I watched the love of my life walk out in front of a bus on purpose, and afterwards I learned she was secretly an axe murderer. I cannot wish this pain on anyone. It's unimaginable. Somehow, it's worse to me because our relationship was so great. It's like the loss is just that much bigger. This was my absolute 100% teammate I did everything with, trusted with my life. Been through unbelievable hardship in our 20s and early 30s, and just came off the best year of our lives. Wedding, honeymoon, job success in competitive areas. It's the grief of losing that partnership, losing the partner, and losing the life I was full throttle towards. That the life I had is torn out from my grasp and now I can barely get out of bed or eat. I'm attractive, tall, fit and career accomplished with great friends and hobbies. I have my flaws, but I am no stranger to female attention. But that has become increasingly irrelevant to me the past 3 to 4 years, and is why I proposed in the first place. I wanted a co-pilot, not Tinder dates. She'd proven over a decade together that she was that person in spades. I have support, a therapist, and a community of friends that are showing up for me big time. But I've been through some pretty serious family trauma, and it doesn't even hold a candle to this pain and sense of loss. I know it's only been a month, but does this mountain of grief on my shoulders ever get any lighter? It just seems to get progressively harder instead. I feel like I'm drowning.
Well, OP, the good news is, yes, it does get better. The pain diminishes, the triggers become less frequent and less intense. The bad news is, it takes time and hard work. And I have never heard of a successful method of making it go away any faster. Go to the gym, focus on your career, get rich, make her regret ever betraying you by becoming a better man. Use your pain as motivation, OP. Good luck. And now for today's second story. I found out that my girlfriend of 9 months is part of a Mean Girls type clique, so I broke up with her. Posted by Reddit user ThrowRA
I met this girl I'll call Katie at a school event about a year ago, and we really clicked and soon made things official. I understand that I saw things partly through rose-colored glasses, but I really liked this girl to the point that I started thinking she might be the one. We just matched well on every level, have similar hobbies, but importantly I thought she was a really good and kind person. Now something happened that really made me reevaluate things. We were sitting in bed and she was texting and laughing about something. I glanced at the phone and saw the Tinder profile of a guy, which made me think WTF. When she went to take a shower, I am not super proud of this. I admit I snooped given what I thought I saw and checked her phone. When her phone opened up, it turns out that she wasn't on Tinder, but rather on a group chat with some friends, and the Tinder pic was a screenshot. Of course, that was a relief, but the rest of the context was just as bad in some ways. The group chat was basically a one-topic channel, where the theme was roasting the guys they hooked up with or were dating. And it was very explicit, talking about specific guys, together with their pics and joking about their inadequacy in bed or even how ill-endowed they were. As far as I scrolled, I wasn't featured on there, but I saw Katie herself write really mean comments. For example, about a guy her friend was with who got emotional during sex, basically calling him a pathetic loser. I was just shocked to read those comments, because it seemed so out of character for her. When she got back in the room, I fessed up to the snooping and confronted her. Surprisingly, she wasn't really mad, but she also wasn't remorseful in the least. She said the chat was with her closest friends and they always talked about everything. I told her I thought it was really fucked up to talk this way about other people, especially since it wasn't just random. I recognized a few mutual friends discussed on there in an explicit way, and I am sure they didn't consent to that information being discussed. But again, she got really defensive, said those were her closest friends and what they talk about is their business. I asked her if she talked about us as well, and she refused to answer. The conversation kind of tapered off at that point since we both realized we were too emotional and not getting anywhere, but I still feel very uncomfortable with the situation. I am afraid to be overreacting, but I am very seriously thinking about ending the relationship. I can't believe I am dating someone who thinks it's okay to treat other people this way and join in the public humiliation of people who did nothing wrong. But I would like some outside perspective from others if they've been in any kind of similar situation, and or if they think I am blowing this out of proportion. TLDR, my girlfriend is part of a kind of group chat where they roast guys they've been with, including by sharing private information. The situation makes me extremely uncomfortable to the point that I want to end the relationship. Update. This all actually happened a few days after my original post, but things have been pretty hectic since then. But I wanted to write a quick update since I got some useful advice in the first thread. The best advice was to insist on seeing the chat one last time to see if she had written anything about me. She initially said no, because it also has private information about her friends, etc. But I basically said if she doesn't let me see the text, it's over, and she reluctantly agreed, but told me to keep in mind that this was a year ago and how much we grew as a couple since then, blah blah blah. I scrolled to the period when we started dating, and yay, sure enough, there I was in the text. It actually made me feel really weird reading other people talking about me. Right around the time we first slept together, someone asked her if I was better than some guy. Without missing a beat, she fires back no, that it was kinda disappointing because I was nervous and had some performance anxiety, and then actually went into detail about what we did. She knew I was feeling anxious since I hadn't been with anyone in a while after a bad breakup, and she was supporting in person, so it felt extra shitty that behind my back she was complaining about me. A friend of hers even mocked me and she said nothing. Katie saw the look on my face and tried to tell me again that we grew so much and things became really good when we got comfortable with each other and connected. She even showed me a text where she said that to her friends. But honestly, at that point I was already done. I asked her to move out, and after a bit of drama and nasty words, she moved her stuff to her mother's place. As others said, I have no doubt they are not talking shit about me together. But honestly, I could not care less what those pieces of shit are chattering about. I just never want to see any of them ever again.
OP, there's this rule in life. If someone gossips or talks shit about others, it is a proven fact that they are doing the exact same shit to you behind your back. I'm glad that you followed your gut and did what was right. Hopefully she learned something from her actions and words. Words are like knives, they cut deep. And can you just imagine how stupid her logic is? You can't see the chat because it has personal information of her girlfriends, but then they proceed to describe every aspect of super intimate encounters with their exes without his consent. That's all the proof you need, OP. That's all the proof you need to know that she was, in fact, not a good person. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my YouTube channel for you to watch absolutely free. So consider clicking that super thanks just below the video title, or you can use my PayPal in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, Make sure to subscribe to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.